You have reached a point of no return and your transformation is already underway, okay? The message I was getting was you're unseen. Something that you're doing is unseen as well. And also, there was a message around you being in the dark, okay? So I was seeing this as you could feel like right now that you're in the dark in regards to the events that are going to, I'm hearing, inevitably unfold in your path in a linear fashion, okay? So you're witnessing the becoming of something, but also I was hearing like you're in the dark. So there could be something that I'm hearing the world doesn't see coming from you, all right? But you're in the dark, as in you're functioning in the dark. But I'm also seeing somebody cultivate a vision, like some kind of night vision as well. But I'm hearing you operate best in the dark too. So you could operate like really, really well in the dark, okay? Right, whatever this is. Anyway, but yeah, the transformation is already underway. So in the astral realm, I was seeing somebody go backstage, and it's funny because one of the cards that we have here is the Six of Wands, which is literally about being on the stage, right, in front of the spotlight. But then there are certain events that happen before that moment. Okay, there are certain moments that happen behind the curtain and behind the scenes, and I was seeing like a Cancer in the 8th house energy, which is about nurturing something in private. Okay. And usually it does happen where I was seeing in the astral, basically, someone ventured to a point of no return. And backstage basically talks about how you're entering into a version, not a version, okay, maybe like a version of yourself or a scene of yourself. But I feel like this is an unfoldment where you go through periods of solitude and internal introspection. And there's moments also where you come out, and I'm hearing you bring to light everything that was done internally. I'm seeing like even internal work that you've done, and that being very evident in the new ways that you show up. Okay, I'm hearing the new energy that you embody. All right, I'm hearing each time that you go through this cyclical cycle, you come out transformed, right? Because 8th house is the house of transformation and alchemy. So this is about the hidden workings of life that happen behind the curtain. And it does align with 8th house theme of, again, going deep into the psyche. What is the psyche? What's the intersection? Well, the interface of where your divine meets the physical, right? Where your non-physical essence meets the physical. And because of that, it's not necessarily visible upon the surface, but it is something that's evident, right? It is something that's evident in your energy, okay? And it can also mean preparation before the unveiling, right? Or preparation before something that goes public as well. So that's definitely the theme. And 8th house energy and Cancer is all about nurturing and tending to a transformation, but in a way that is quite private and something that is quite hidden, but it is unavoidable, right? It is a transformation that is unavoidable because I'm seeing the moon go through its cyclical cycles through each of the houses, and these phases are things that you're always going to go through, and it's something that you've learned to embrace in some way. So it speaks to some kind of deep private nurturing, maybe, or something fragile, maybe in the early stages of development, like in its vulnerable stages, but it's like a secret transformation that will not be so secret down the timeline. It's like something that's a secret transformation, but until it's not a secret, it's like almost until the world knows with Six of Wands energy. And yeah, it does represent just, work that's done in solitude, not for the public eye, but ends up becoming public inevitably. Because if you think about 8th house, it transverses into 9th house, which is something that allows you to go the distance and actually expand, right? So it's almost like internal work that happens before you expand. It's almost like vibrationy. It's like water that's filling a balloon and it's creating a water balloon. But then Sagittarius 9th house energy, right? After Scorpio 8th house, which is about hidden underworkings internally, right? The work that's being done, where the water balloon begins to burst and it begins to pop, right? And the water kind of goes everywhere and you expand and you become one with all the elements, right? So there's something around a containment, right? It's almost like you could feel like you're in a period where you're containing something, but I'm seeing that containing it is, they're showing me like a tea bag, which is something that's brewing, right? You can feel like something is brewing in the ether, something's brewing inside of you. But that leads to it becoming potent, right? So this is a potent transformation that inevitably leads to something going in the distance, right? Ninth house energy. And it could completely change the way that you see the world. And it's because I'm hearing your vision has changed, right? Literally, right? Your vision has changed with you being in the dark, right? That's what I'm seeing, right? You're cultivating this vision, especially when it comes to you like trusting your spidey senses. So anyway, this girl, she reached the point of no return in the astral. So this is initiation, right? So you kind of crossing the threshold in some aspect of your life. Maybe you're realizing that you can't go back to an old identity. Maybe even there's like an archetypal death and rebirth, and you're stepping into a transformation, even if it feels risky, even if it feels unavoidable, right? Or irreversible. You know, that's like an energy that's coming through for sure. It almost is like an irreversible transformation because this is like the moment where it's, you know, peel the banana skin. Oh, yeah, that's easy. Okay, try and reverse that. Not so much. Peel the I don't know what else you can peel, but like the orange, right? Okay, try and put it back on. Not so much. Take the toothpaste out of the tube. Easy, right? Try and put it back in how it once was. Yeah, not really. There's that kind of transformation that you're going through during this time. Like the snake sheds the skin, eighth house energy. Okay, try to fit back into that old skin, that identity. Yeah, not so easy, right? Not really gonna happen like that. So yeah, that's what I was seeing. Something is transforming for you. So let's go ahead and see what this is. I'm gonna take a look at a Cosmos Oracle message. Dark energy. Oh my god. I know you guys are being left in the dark. Is this even gonna focus? Right? Maybe you've had a hard time focusing until you've been in the dark, right? Maybe it's like forced you to kind of focus on your other senses right now. Okay. But dark energy. Dark energy. Okay, it's not focusing, but it's okay. Now we'll go ahead and read this. This is turning on a black light in the dark and realizing that there's so much more to be discovered. So this is a different kind of vision that you have, right? You're looking at life through the lens of the soul. And you know, it's almost like take away all of your other senses. What would you be left with, right? If I take away your taste, I take away your touch, I take away your smell, your sight, your hearing, what are you left with? Just pure awareness. And this is about undiscovered potential and the mystery, okay? The mystery that you are, dark energy. It is in the darkness where we find our most valued talents, passions, and motivations. The darkness is not always about going down into the basement to look for pain. Dark energy is universally defined as unknown energy. What if you are being a certain version of yourself, thinking that that is your full potential? What if there's a lot more to discover by turning on a flashlight? There is much more to discover. So there is something again, and the next card is Dark Nebula, which talks about hiding the treasures of light. But I was seeing like treasures hidden in the shadows. So there is almost treasure that does await you in doing something. I'm hearing with an unknown. It feels like an unknown consequence right now. But for the consequence, it's how this is going to impact your life, okay? Or the impact something's first of all, it's the impact that something's having on you and how that begins to impact your life, okay? And bleed into your life. Let's see. Dark energy. What is the dark energy? Why are you in the dark? The magician. What are you cooking up? What are you cooking up? Look at this. Dark energy and the magician. So you're there doing some, and what is a magician, right? He's an alchemist. You're there doing some kind of alchemical process right now. The magician is alchemy, so there could be something about you really seeing, you know, your life from a different perspective or level of awareness, where you're looking back at your situations from the lens of the soul, and it's helping you step into a deeper level of appreciation and gratitude, right? It's like you're seeing the beauty in something that could have been once so painful, right? And because of that, I'm hearing there's like a beautiful transformation where you're changing and you're witnessing how you're changing right now, because I'm seeing this snake shedding its skin, and that process doesn't hurt, but it's where they could resist shedding that skin that will begin to hurt because they've outgrown that, you know? That's like an energy that's coming through for sure. So, what are you doing? We have the magician, and then you also have the world at the base. So, again, before this is something that possibly goes public, or maybe you show up in the world a complete new way, right? This is basically someone stepping on the world stage. They're doing something behind the scenes. And funny how dark energy went focused, but now with the magician, they're focusing together. So, again, there's something that you're putting your focus on in the dark, where suddenly you're seeing things really, really clearly. And stratosphere here at the base basically talks about things being in perfect harmony and perfect balance right now. Let's see. What are you bringing to the stage? Selective shield here, reversed. Let's get one more. You could be really selective in regards to um fusion. Okay, so what's leading what? And this is pretty interesting because I was also seeing hemp in the astral realm, but specifically there was a theme around my face ID doesn't even recognize me. I'm like, what's going on? Right? It's almost like you're not recognized, like you're not recognized when you come out. But yeah, hemp, I was seeing hemp that wasn't monitored how it is, and I was seeing it as basically coping mechanisms that are no longer being tightly policed by the ego. So fusion talks about the inner workings of the soul, basically with the vessel, and how when they come into a harmonious union, you begin to see creations that happen, not just you and how you begin to create a new way of being into existence, but also how you step into becoming a sovereign creator, and you actually literally being a creator in this existence, orchestrating different events. You get to selectively choose the things that you want to create, right? Because this talks about the triad and cyclical cycles of threes. And with spectrum here, it's almost like your spectrum begins to open up in regards to what is actually possible. I'm hearing the things that you want to bring forth into reality, right? I'm hearing things that you want to anchor into reality. Let's see what this is. We have the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. So, yeah, this is literally about maybe a new career or financial opportunity, something at the early stages of the development that has a lot of potential for growth. It could be a creative vision. More so because the Queen of Wands is basically someone that can masterfully engage with those around her. She's one of the most spiritual queens, but she does something that makes everyone kind of question this construct and what is possible. She finds a way when no one else even. I'm hearing what's the word? What's the word? No one even like what would be the word? Like it keeps coming out of my mind. Fathomed that there would be a way. So it's almost like this is something that you haven't really been able to fathom until now, right? It's like you're seeing yourself as a more capable version. You're seeing yourself as a more um, confident version because, first of all, she reignites the flame and passion within herself. And as a result, she begins to instill confidence in those around her simply by aligned action, right? And the embodiment, right? So there is something that you're planting, there is something that you're growing, there is something that you're nurturing. We'll go ahead and read Fusion, right? With Selective Shield. It's actually one of my favorite cards. Union, creativity, alchemy, integration, birth, and innovation. Nuclear processes that keep all the stars burning. Union of two or more parts to shape something new. This balance of union of forces creates a new force that did not exist before. We knew object A and its inner workings. We knew object B and its inner workings. But we had never before witnessed the creation and the results from the combination of A and B, forming A and B. That brings everything together. It's the new energy that is formed through the union and communion, right? The physical and the non-physical, the soul, the interface, right? And the physical vessel, your plasma origin, and also incarnating into this carbon-based life form. And it's a new energy that's formed through union and communion, the ability to create something beyond the known. What comes together is totally beneficial to both parties. So etheric growth as well as growth in the physical, right? This is something that allows you to honor the calling of the soul, right? And the abundance that the soul gets to experience, right? When it comes to abundant growth in this lifetime, as well as actually abundant material. I'm seeing like planes or all forms of abundance in very tangible ways in your when it comes to your life on earth. It talks about the physical and non-physical. So born through love between your parents. So this is the physical and the non-physical, right? This is you how you mother and you also father yourself, right? Your own child, you being your own child. This is literally about how you nurture and care, right? Feminine, and also protect and embody and actively move towards in the physical, right? Masculine, the things that you take action towards, and honoring your intuition when it comes to what to act towards. And that leads to creation, right? So, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting for you. Let me see before we go, let's take a look at Shaman's Dream Arc message. Unmarked Trail, Revelation, and then you also have Will-o'-the-Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. What did I freaking tell you at the beginning? I literally said, right? Was that in this reading? I'm pretty sure it was. I said that there were treasures hidden in the shadows. I completely didn't realize that this is the Will-o'-the-Wisp card. Will-o'-the-Wisp talks about, okay, this is like a calling that you've received in the past, and although you were curious, you didn't answer her call, right? But the opportunity to dance has come back around again. But this time, you're being called to step on the unmarked trail, Revelation. This is almost like King Arthur, where it's like you won't really know how far you can go until you try, right? So let's go ahead and read it. Where is it? Everything's everywhere right now. It's like divine madness, chaos. Now that is my life. So let's take a look at 57 right now. 57. So, discovery, revelation. You are called now to embark on a sacred journey. The Arcturian knights, in their quest for the Holy Grail, had to make sure to take an unmarked trail that no one had ever followed, or they would not accomplish their goal. Likewise, you must enter the dark forest of your soul via a route as yet unidentified to find what you seek. The manifold paths will bring you only temporary pleasure and then later greater pain. Stop it. You already know that there's no reward at the end of the road that you're following. You are only killing time. Pause, breathe, and commit in your heart to a sacred endeavor. Vow to not look for old solutions that may have worked with past challenges. Get out of character. Try the outrageousness. Keep your quest private. There's something that you're doing. There's something that you're doing, and there is almost like a sacred stillness. You know, I'm also seeing like the Moon Maiden card definitely being activated, which basically talks about the time has come to realize that there's something that you're working on behind the scenes. And the moon goes through many different kind of cycles and stages, right? But there's something that you're working on behind the scenes. And that behind the scenes work is so important because when you do bring something to the light, it is super beautiful. Um, the unmarked trail, and you're going to rise to the occasion unfading like the moon does. So the unmarked trail can be a sign that you have already made a choice, even if you do not want to acknowledge it. Be at peace with what your heart knows to be true. Your heart has already been made up and your mind will follow. So it's almost like the analytical mind, right? And the logical part of yourself is going to witness the how something unfolds, right? And the when it unfolds. But the soul knows the where it wants to go and the why. So, taking with you only the essential beliefs that you know to be trustworthy under all circumstances, the universe has your back, right? Let's go ahead and read Treasures Hidden in the Shadows just for the sake of it with 62. So, treasures hidden in the shadows, the great mystery and an epiphany that happens in your life. Will-o'-the-Wisp hovers in her luminescent glory above the twilight moors of your life, whispering for you to step into the fog, into the mystery and the unknown. You may have been visited by her before, though intrigued, you refused her invitation. You thought it would be safer and you decided to remain on the journey that you know. While you have always had a choice whether to follow her or not, you never know when you might encounter her again. And in this sense, turning away has its own consequences. Why is the known so appealing? It's only when you wake up to its restrictions, its soft prison or golden cage, that you realize there must be more, right? And eighth house energy is also about repressed and suppressed fears, right? And this could be things that you're kind of working through during this time. So, Will-o'-the-Wisp has come to you once again to offer you magic, but you will have to sacrifice certainty in the pursuit of adventure, your comfort zone for the dangers of discovery. And there is something around turning apparent danger into an opportunity, and your well trodden path for the detours that might very well lead you astray. Or will they? Can you accept that losing yourself will bring you closer to your true self? The profound shift of an epiphany can occur only when you risk the detour and enter the unknown. Now is the time to trust higher forces to lead you into this place. These worlds hidden at the threshold between what was and what can be. Here is where you will learn about your own unmaking to unmask yourself. Love what you discover, dark or light, see it all as divine, and find a quiet, thrumming power waiting for you to channel it into the world for the good. The treasure you find, filled with wealth and love and kindness, true prosperity is ripe to share with others. She's here for you now. Will you accept her invitation? A great bounty of goodness awaits you. What are you being guided to do? You know, I don't want to get too much more into it because I know you know what this is, right? I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that you know, right? That I know what you know. It's that energy. I'm just playing with you, but not really. I know what you know, right? But we can just have that telepathic connection in regards to this. And maybe you know what I know, right? That you know that I know that you know. Maybe. I don't know. Or do I? Right? So it's that energy that's coming through for sure. But yeah, we can just sit in the divine kind of madness and cycles of it all. But it's gonna be interesting nonetheless, for sure. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and yeah, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. Love to have you around. Personal reading details also down below. There's going to be a waiting list for October. Also check out 𝓪𝓭𝓪𝓷𝓬 if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. We have beautiful, yeah, journey coming up, and then also just like a little update. Obviously, no, maybe it's not so obvious for everyone. I'm not in Egypt at the moment. We are in Peru. I did mention this previously. Right now we're located in the Sacred Valley, and I'm going to be taking you guys to a lot of different places, a lot of exciting sites, all happening through the alignments. So very specific energetic openings that are going to be taking place, and yeah, we're going to witness that all unfold in a linear fashion, but it's going to be very, very interesting. So yeah, let's enjoy the new era. Definitely a new era for sure. And I'll speak to you very, very soon. Until next time. Bye.